All right, welcome in. Cube Show Podcast, college football podcast comes to you weekly. This week, we're going to continue our top 5 position groups in the SEC. A lot of you have had a lot to say about these position groups going up, some good, some bad. I think it's great. I love the interaction. I love the passion. I love some of you that disagree. I love some of you that agree, but have different points to make. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep throwing it around because I think it's going to be important once we get to the season because some of these aren't going to work out the way we think. And some are going to be very different. And some guys we're not even talking about are going to step up and have big seasons. I think that might be the message for the take home of this entire position group that we're going to talk about today. Guys that are not getting attention, guys that weren't paid a lot of attention to, guys that aren't really highly ranked in the transfer portal that could have massive impacts on their team this upcoming season. I think that really is the story of the tight end group, top to bottom in the SEC. Are there a couple of returners back with their same schools that are going to make impacts? Yes, of course. But there are a couple at a couple different schools that I've gone and found and been able to watch that I think have a chance to impact these teams, and we haven't heard a word about them. So we'll talk about those today, and I'll give you my top 5 tight end rooms in the Southeastern Conference. You guys know we're brought to you by Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious. We snack on them. We have them in the house. My boy Jordan Rogers was in town for UFL over the weekend, cooked up some of the Kaneka, slice it, get a little Wickles Pickles, toothpick it in there with the Kaneka. It's amazing. Wickles Pickles, go to wicklespickles.com. You can have them drop shipped to your house there if you're not in your grocery store, or check out all the gear that they have. They support us. Please support them. We appreciate Wickles Pickles. All right, let's jump into it. Like I said, the transfer portion of this is going to be massive. Let's just go down the list of guys that I think are going to impact their new team that are transferring in. All right, Ole Miss has got Luke Haas coming in from Arkansas. Texas has Jack Indries coming in from Cal. Arkansas has Jaden Platt coming in from A&M, and Rohan Jones coming from Montana State. You've got Texas A&M's Micah Riley coming from Auburn, Amari Niblack from Alabama and Texas, and Nate Boerkircher from Nebraska. Probably butchered that. I apologize, Nate. LSU's got Bauer Sharp. Don't say he's improved. Do not say he's improving. You're not allowed to say that. You'll get in big trouble. Also, Donovan Green from Texas A&M. Missouri, Gavin Hoffman from Iowa. And Vince Brown coming from Colorado State. We're going to spend more time on a couple of these guys. Alabama's got Brody Dalton from Troy, Jack Samiro from West Virginia, and Peter Codson from Weber State. South Carolina's got Jordan Dingle from Kentucky coming in. Auburn's got Preston Hound from Maryland. Kentucky has Harry Boyer from Illinois and Elijah Brown from UCF. Oklahoma's got Will Huggins from Pittsburgh State, John Locke Jr. from Louisiana Tech, and Carson Kent from Kennesaw State. Mississippi State's got a couple that we're going to talk about as well. So when I went to put these 5 together, you kind of try to piece all of that. How do they fit into what their teams are going to ask them to do? What have they already proven? Maybe a little bit of ceiling, a little bit of projection of what we think they could be. Let's talk about a couple that aren't on this list right now that I like and that I think could end up being in the top 5 by the end of the season. First off, Tennessee's not in my top 5, but I think they could be there. I love Miles Kitselman. I think he's great. He's a grinder. He's a glass eater. He loves getting after you. He can block. He's a reliable weapon in the passing game, but he's not dynamic. He's not going to run away from you. But I think he's a solid option that they have there in Knoxville. Ethan Davis had 13 catches as well last year. I think he's solid. Just don't think you're going to get a whole lot extra out of these two athletically or physically just because of how they're built. Now, are they going to be asked to do a ton of that? No. Now, you saw a lot of the inserts and different things last year, the split zones, getting them out in space in the screen game. They helped a lot. They'll be asked to do that, but it's not a group that's going to be leaned on maybe as much. So I think that's a group that could be in the mix here that we're talking about later, but we're not going to have them in our top 5 today. I think LSU also with Trey'Dez Green, who I don't even know if we can really label him a tight end. Guy looks like a swingman in the NBA, 6'7", 245, had 13 catches, 4 touchdowns last year. He's a red zone threat. He can be super dynamic down in there. He's going to win one-on-ones. Is he ready to be a full-time tight end? Is he going to block? Is LSU going to hand the football off? He might not have to block from that perspective, but I do think he's a weapon. Once again, Bauer Sharp. Do not say that he's improved because there's a certain fan base that doesn't like that. And they're going to get really mad at you if you say that he actually improved across the course of last season. And going back and looking at it, 42 catches. Who had more on the Oklahoma roster last year? Oh, that was nobody. 324 yards also. Check those. 2 touchdown receptions. He's athletic. He can run. You can split him out. So now you have 2 different athletic weapons used in different ways, and you go get a Donovan Green from Texas A&M, who's a lot more of your inline option. He hasn't really been healthy. he hasn't been on the field as much. But you go back to 2022, 22 catches, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. He can be your more physical inline next to the tackle tight end that can maybe help you get a little extra oomph, help you in the run game, in short yardage, things of that nature, and can get out in space and catch the football a little bit as well. We just hadn't seen him on the field a whole ton just yet. Also, I think Texas A&M, which it feels like we've mentioned multiple teams here that are getting players from Texas A&M and or tight ends that they're getting from Texas A&M and they're going to be able to utilize. I think Texas A&M's group could be solid. I think it's one that I look at and see a couple players that have proven a little bit, have shown me what they've got, and then it may be a couple that will project out. Amari Niblack is a kid that runs 22 miles an hour, fast, athletic, lean. Productivity hasn't matched that yet, whether it's been at Texas or at Alabama. But he has a chance. Theo Milan Ostrom can get in there and push people around. He's a guy that physicality is not a problem for, not necessarily well-rounded into that position. I'm going to tell you this right now. I love Micah Riley coming from Auburn. There are a couple of times where he came in motion across the line of scrimmage and just destroyed people in the run game. He's not going to mind physicality and getting after people, and I think he's fine catching the football. I just don't think they used him. That could be a low-key weapon for Texas A&M and Colin Klein's offense this year, because I hadn't heard anybody talk about Micah Riley being a decent get for A&M. I do think he could help out. And then Boer Kircher from Nebraska could be somebody that helps that team out as well. So A&M's a group that I think could down the road maybe be one that we're talking about, but I'm not necessarily going to have them just yet. Kind of like Oklahoma with Will Huggins coming in from Pitt State. I like some of the things I've seen from him. Carson Kemp from Kennesaw State. But you got a new offense with a new quarterback, now new tight ends coming in. How's that all going to work out? I don't really know. So I'm not ready to put them in my top 5 just yet. So let's go to that top 5. And one other that I'll say is Arkansas. You lose your best tight end, and it's going to be detrimental. It's not going to be good. But this Rohan Jones kid that Arkansas has coming in from Maine and Montana State, I'm just going to tell you right now, 6'3", 236. He doesn't look 6'3". He looks 6'6". The wingspan is his wingspan, I bet, is close to 7 feet. He's got a giant catch radius. He knows how to go up and attack the football. He works the seams well, not afraid to get downfield. Now, he's not great in the run game. He's not a very physical blocker. He's not going to bring a lot of power in that perspective. But watching a little bit of his Montana State film, with what this offense wants to do and wants to be, attacking down the field and especially hiding the tight end and some play action quarterback run stuff, pop pass things. That's what he did at Montana State a little bit. And he was wide open a couple of times, so it's not really a highlight. But I think he can help. And I think he can run, big, long strider. So watch out for Rohan Jones at Arkansas, a kid that maybe helps that offense. Not ready to put that room in our top 5 just yet. So let's go to our top 5 tight end rooms in the Southeastern Conference. Number 5 is going to be Mississippi State. Seydou Traore, if you don't know him, if you haven't seen him, kid's a ball player. He is one of the better, I'll say, dual threat tight ends in the Southeastern Conference. He will line up next to the tackle, and he will get after your rear end. He'll shoot his hands, he'll run his feet. He can be a very good blocker, and he's not afraid to get out there and give you that effort. I think he's got good long catch radius, 34 catches, 361 yards, and a touchdown last year. He's a solid runner. He's got good speed out in space. He can hurt you multiple ways. Cameron Ball is still on this offense. Now, he's 6'7", 250, not super productive last year, but a guy that's there that can give you some physicality, do some different things, maybe offer up different ways to help. We'll see what he does. You go get Sam West from Indiana, who's 6'4", 246, only one catch last year, but a little bit lighter, a little bit sleeker, that maybe could come in and help, a guy that has at least been around Power 5 football and understands the speed and the physicality. And you get Max Reese from Eastern Michigan. Now, this is going to be more of your sort of utility player, hard hat guy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got 2 carries in his career. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at sort of a fullback, H-back position, maybe even carry the ball in short yardage in the backfield, but he can line up as an H or a tight end as well. Has good speed, pretty good athleticism, but more of your let's go out there and knock somebody around type of a guy. Even though he had 27 catches last year, he's going to be able to get in there and mix it up a little bit physically. Here's the wild card for Mississippi State with a solid group that I'm going to throw another one in. Now, this is sort of a Hail Mary, and figuratively, that is kind of where we're going with this. Emeka Ilo, 6'9", 265. We've seen some of these guys, like remember Ahmad Wagner transfer from Iowa to Kentucky to play basketball, and he was like 6'8", and everybody thought he was just going to high point the ball and go get it. Doesn't always work out that way, but I've seen a little bit of his film. He really does know how to high point the football. He attacks it at its highest point, and nobody else is going to be close to it there. He's pretty big as far as stature. He's not built like a basketball player as far as being super lean, super skinny. And he's got a pretty good stride when he gets out in space and runs. He uses a stiff arm a little bit. Now, from Coahoma Community College, does all that translate into the Southeastern Conference? My understanding is pretty raw in the spring still, has a long way to go. But if you're projecting out kind of a what if, and even a guy that just gives you a little bit of a one-trick pony act on the field that you can utilize at different points in time, he makes that room that much better. But with Ball, Traore, Reese, and West all being sort of different type bodies doing different type things, you have the ability to take another spot in that room, throw the wild card in, and maybe go out there and see what he can do and see if something can potentially play out that way and you can do something extra. I don't know exactly how it works out, but I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer on him because I do like Traore that much, and I like Max Reese from what I've seen from him, and I think Sam West's going to be a player. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it goes, but I love the versatility. I love the depth in that Mississippi State tight end room. Hey, guys, don't forget that I'll be at Pizza Pulls at Whatnot every Tuesday breaking football cards. Now, I might get into some baseball and some basketball at some point, but this is really easy, man. Like, let me go show you right now. I'll pull up the phone. You go to that Whatnot app right there. Bam, you hit it. You're going to go in. Now, what we're doing here is, and there's my guy Pizza Pulls right now. Look at that. Bam. They got a break going right now. They're sitting there opening in some cards. You buy a team to get in, and then you go in. They open up the whole box, and you take whatever team that is. So if you want the Raiders, you pay $20. You get the Raiders. The box costs $750. You don't have to worry about that. You get all those Bo Jackson cards that you want, or you get those Brock Bowers rookie cards that you want, and there they go. The Topps Midnight is out now. We'll be breaking that. It's a beautiful cards. He's still got Topps Chrome Football that's going to be there. Panini Contenders is out now as well. We got a lot of different products that we're going to be breaking. I'm there every Tuesday around 11. Just go to your Whatnot app right there, or go to whatnot.com on your computer, and you'll find me breaking football cards every single Tuesday. Come join us. Number 4 for me is going to be Missouri. If there were a little bit more known commodities that had been in that uniform, I could see them higher on this list. I love Brett Norfleet. If you listen to this show during the season last year, when we went through the film of every game, and that's what we do in the fall. If you're new to the show, we appreciate you being here. In the fall, we watch all the film on Sunday from every SEC game, and we share with you what we saw. That's all we do during the season. Brett Norfleet's name came up a lot, and not for catching passes. It's for knocking the hell out of people. It's what he loves to do. It's what he was born to do. He's got a gift. He's an athletic kid, probably more athletic than you think. I think he was actually drafted to go play baseball, but decided to come to Missouri, play tight end, big catch radius, big long kid. Kind of looks like a basketball player when he walks in the room, but that physicality is what stands out. And he's a reliable pass catcher. He's good enough to be a guy that has 50, 70 targets in a season. It's just they had a couple other tight ends and obviously had some pretty good wide receivers last year and some running backs that got it done in the run game, which is where he helps the most. But you've seen Jordan Harris in that offense, 5 catches, 48 yards last year, 6'4", 255. I think he's solid. I think he'll help. Do I think he's going to break out and have a monster year? No, but I think he's a good tight end in that scheme and that system for what they're going to ask him to do. Then you go get Vince Brown from Colorado State. Didn't really know what to expect. I go dig up the film on Vince Brown, and I can tell you, 6'5", 240, and he looks it. This is not a Rohan Jones type deal where he looks taller than he is. He looks every bit of 6'5", long catch radius, long strider, attacks the seams, loves to work the middle of the field, does a lot in the play action game. You see him come across the line of scrimmage on some fakes, catch the ball in the flat. And what I love about him is he turns north and south when he catches the football. He's not a guy that catches it and just keeps gliding towards the sideline and eventually works his way upfield. Like, he catches the ball and he looks to go towards the goal line immediately, and he's got enough speed to be able to do it. This is a kid that last year had 24 catches, 256 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that Colorado State offense, transferred there from College of DuPage or somewhere. I can't even remember the name of where he was before that. And then you get Gavin Hoffman from Iowa, which I hadn't seen the tape on Gavin Hoffman. I'll be perfectly honest with you, but you add him to the room. And if Iowa signed him as a tight end, I'm probably going to give you a little benefit of the doubt there and think that you can play the position and you got a chance to be at least somebody who can help the room there. But like we talked about with wide receivers, certain guys are going to push this list up individually. And Brett Norfleet's one of those guys. If you don't know who he is, you need to learn his name. And you need to know it now, because he's going to be one of the better tight ends in college football this year. Hey, guys, don't forget about my friends at Game Day Men's Health. If you're feeling on edge, if you're lacking sleep, lacking energy, could be the effects of low testosterone. If you're going to lose some weight, Game Day Men's Health has multiple weight loss programs today that they want to help you out with. They also want to tell you about the peptides that they have in stock: anti-aging, better sleep, more energy, a lot of different ways that the peptides can help you. Your body naturally stops making those over time. So there's different ways and different concoctions that they can mix up for you to be able to help you physically sort of get over the hump and get back in the game and do different things. Here's what you do: GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for the free consultation today. That's right, it's free. You get a free PSA test, free testosterone test. You'll find out where your baseline health is immediately. And then they're going to be able to share that with you and say, hey, this is what we think's going on. This is how we can help you. These are the different options that we have. Just go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Tell them you heard them right here on Cube Show and see what they can do for you. Keep in mind also, almost no cost up front to get started at Game Day Men's Health. Very different than a lot of other places. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. My number 4 group is going to be the Vanderbilt Commodores. And yes, there's one guy that pushes them above everybody else because Eli Stowers is that guy. 49 catches, 638 yards, 5 touchdowns a season ago. He is athletic. He is dynamic. He is fast. He is big. He can high point the football. He can break tackles. He can do it all. Does he need work physically? Yes, he's a former 5-star quarterback. All right, so it's probably going to take the guy a little while to get used to blocking people in line, specifically SEC edge defenders, but he at least gets into it. He's not a guy that's afraid to just shoot his hands, get his face mask in there and try it. He works at it and he tries it. And I think he'll be better at it this year with another offseason. He's not somebody who just tries to fall down in front of a defensive end and make it look like a block. But he's somebody that can take a little waggle and turn it into an explosive play. He can beat you one-on-one down the field. He can take advantage of you in space because he's going to be able to give you that and shake you and get open. He's a tough matchup. And you saw against Alabama last year. They didn't know who to use to cover him. I mean, the guy is as fast as a DB. He's obviously a lot bigger, leaner, longer than linebackers. He is just an advantage. Honestly, he is an advantage player when he's on the field because there's nobody that he goes up against that gives Vanderbilt a disadvantage. I think he's one of the best tight ends in college football. I think he's going to be an early draft pick. And because they have him, I'm putting him way up the list. Now, Cole Spence is somebody that's reliable. He's a little bit more of a grinder, a little bit more of a glass eater, not afraid to get out there and mix it up. 6'7", 250, big target. But you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel for Vanderbilt, a lot of 2 tight end sets. And he's going to be on the field. Just 10 catches last year, but he can go get more if they want him to and they need him to. So I think Cole Spence, a guy that we probably are going to talk a little bit more about this fall in this Vanderbilt offense. And you'd still have Cam Johnson there that could be able to help 1 catch for 6 yards a season ago. But make no mistake about it, Stowers is the one that makes this room. And when you have somebody who's that different, similar to what we talked about with, say, a Ryan Williams, you're going ahead of a lot of other teams, regardless of what else you have. He is that guy. The number 2 Ole Miss room number 2 tight end room for me in the SEC, as I just blew it there, is Ole Miss. I love this room. I think it has a chance to be great. Daquan Wright was a young man that we saw in the spring last year, talked about him being able to help. We knew Priestcorn was going to be the guy. He moves on, but Daquan Wright offers you more athleticism. He offers you a big catch radius and good physicality, not afraid to mix it up there at the line of scrimmage, but someone who can run past you on the perimeter as well. Now you go get Luke Haas from Arkansas, who is a precise route runner, who understands how to find space, create space, and get open, a nice pass catcher, and is not afraid to be an inline blocker. Now, he's 240 pounds, maybe 235. So is he going to be devastating at the line of scrimmage? No, but he's not a liability at all. I think he's a well-rounded tight end. I think he's somebody who's a little bit more athletic than he is physical, which is perfect for this Ole Miss offense. And Lane wants to use multiple tight ends. That's when their offense, Lane, Lebby, those guys will tell you when the offense is truly unlocked, it's when the tight end position's humming and they can use it and they can force you to pay attention to it. Luke Haas can do that in multiple ways, as can Daquan Wright. You also get Trace Bruckhelter, probably butchered that one as well, from New Mexico. 31 catches, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6'3", 245, similar to Luke Haas a little bit. I'm fine with this film. I think he looked good playing a high-powered offense last year. Somebody who understands getting out in space, running, understands yards after the catch. He can give you a little bit of that. So it's a solid room. And I think just with Wright and Haas, they're going to be towards the top of the list. You add another one in there that's actually played a lot of college football, that's caught passes at this level, that can come in and help. Even though it's not going to be the position, it's not going to be the focal point of the offense, it will be a valuable position for this Ole Miss football team this year. I think they got a chance to be fine. I think they have a chance to be one of the better tight end rooms in college football because of the versatility, athleticism, and some of the experience that they have as well. Keep in mind, Haas has played it in the SEC, played at Arkansas. He knows what it's all about, played against Ole Miss. So he's going to have a good understanding of knowing exactly what's expected of him and what it's going to be like when he arrives on campus. The number one tight end room in the SEC, probably no big surprise for anybody here, it's the Georgia Bulldogs. Oscar Delp, proven commodity, man. Top to bottom, left, right, up, down, select, start, BA. He's got every bit of it, all right? He can get in there and he can work physical at the line of scrimmage, be in line. He can split out. He knows how to operate in the screen game, catch and run. He's fine there. He might not be overly dynamic or devastating in any individual facet of his game, but he is solid across the board. He's one of those just football players that checks every single box. And then Lawson Lucky's right there with him, who probably is a little bit more dynamic, probably is a little bit more athletic. We saw the SEC championship game over there on the sidelines, the amazing catch. 26 for 357 and 4 touchdowns last year. Those two are going to be a heck of a 1-2 punch. And I think you might see Georgia try to get back to a little bit more bully ball this year, specifically with a quarterback that's not afraid to put his head down and run people over, and a good running back room. They may be needed on the field at the same time a lot. Jaden Riddell there, Ace Williams there, Ethan Barbour still there. So you have a couple of incomers, few true freshmen. I don't know if we're going to bank on them right now or not. And a couple of guys that you look at and say, okay, I think that might be a guy who can come in and help right away. So those are my top 5 tight end rooms in the Southeastern Conference. I would anticipate this changing just because of those unknowns that we mentioned. We went down the list. Almost every team in the league has somebody coming in that's going to have to help them. You look at a team like South Carolina that relied on that position last year. I thought Jordan Simon was one of the MVPs of the SEC. Nobody talked about him. Jordan Dingle's done some good things in Lexington. Can he come in and be that guy in the South Carolina offense under a new offensive coordinator with a great quarterback who needs someone to step up around him and continuously make some more plays? Can Preston Howard from Maryland come in and be what Rivaldo Fairweather was for Auburn last year? We don't really know. Gunnar Helm was beyond valuable for Texas last year, and Jack Indries, I do think, mirrors his game in some ways, but Gunnar also knew that offense and knew the pieces around him and got more athletic going into last season. Can Jack do that and maybe be a little bit more than we're expecting him to be? It's going to be a fun watch because I think a lot of these teams we're talking about are going to have to lean on this position. Even you look at a team like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, we don't talk about the tight ends a whole lot, but they do lean on that position often, and they do lean on that position to have success offensively. And then you look at a team like Arkansas, if this Rohan Jones kid does come in and live up to some of the expectations, or maybe even more so, does Bobby Petrino alter the offense a little bit more to get him involved and try to utilize his skill set just a little bit more? So it's going to be fun to watch. Like, we know going in, Eli Stowers is going to be a focal point. He's going to be a regular target. He's going to be a guy that gets targets on a regular basis. But can we see Cole Spence take a little bit of the load off? So we see Cam Johnson maybe go in there and have some kind of an impact and offer some different things at different spots. So I think it's going to be fun to see because there's a lot of these teams that have guys that they need to step up, some because of who left, some because of a vacancy last year, some because of what they look like they might be coming in and what they might be able to provide. Like I said, I didn't expect to go and watch some kids from Montana State that are going to be able to come in and be able to help a football team out. I didn't expect to go see guys at junior college that are 6'9" that might be able to come in and help a football team in the SEC. Just not what I anticipated. Like, you go to Alabama, I've watched Brody Dalton down at Troy. He's a fine player. Doesn't wow me in a lot of different ways. But in line, he understands where his hat placement should go. He understands hand placement. He runs his feet. He's a reliable pass catcher. Okay, so there you go. Is Peter Cudson from Weber State going to come in and help? I don't have high expectations for him. But once again, that's an Alabama offense that if that position's there, they will utilize it. And last year, they had 2 glorified guards out there playing tight end that were playing bully ball half the time. I don't know if they have those guys on this roster right now. So they'll probably design it in a little bit of a different way where they can maneuver around that. There's a couple rooms we didn't get to. Not going to spend time on all of them today because we were going with the top 5 and the ones that have new guys coming in that I wanted to discuss. Plenty of time before the season to get to all of them on every team. We appreciate you guys being here. Please subscribe if you haven't. Go do that. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you need to get it there. Social media at Cube Show, Twitter, Instagram. Interact with us there. We love the interaction. We love you guys being a part of the show. The comments have been off the charts the last couple of weeks. Please keep that going, and we'll keep the top 5 position groups going next week.